Most people have no idea that their immune system is essentially running on empty every single day. Not in a dramatic hospital visit kind of way, but quietly, in the background. You feel it as that lingering cold that just refuses to go away. You feel it in the cracks at the corners of your mouth that take weeks to heal. You feel it in the constant dull brain fog, the seasonal allergies that seem to get worse every year, and the sheer exhaustion that washes over you when everyone else in the house gets sick and you just know you are going to be next. You have probably been told to drink orange juice, take a handful of synthetic vitamins, and get some rest. But what almost no one tells you is that you are likely entirely missing the one specific mineral that acts as the absolute master switch for your body's entire defense network. That mineral is zinc. And the problem is, the modern Western diet has been almost completely stripped of it. We are eating heavily processed, nutrient-void, factory-made products that fill our stomachs but starve our immune cells of the exact biological building block they need to repair DNA, produce white blood cells, and actively hunt down viral threats. But what if the most powerful immune-boosting protocol on the planet wasn't developed in a laboratory? What if it had already been mapped out, consumed, and celebrated thousands of years ago? The ancient people of the biblical world didn't have pharmacies, but from the flocks of the shepherds to the grain in the fields, their diet was intentionally and divinely structured to be incredibly rich in the exact minerals your body requires to survive harsh conditions. And here is what makes this genuinely remarkable. Modern clinical immunology is now confirming, molecule by molecule, that these ancient people were eating the ultimate immune defense diet. My name is John, and today we are going through 14 biblical foods that are absolute zinc bombs. These are the whole foods your immune system is starving for. Foods that will rebuild your body's defenses from the cellular level up. Stay with me all the way to the end, because number 14 is the one that catches people completely off guard. It is a food that was so central to the ancient world that the Israelites actually wept when they lost access to it. And once you hear what modern biochemists have discovered about how it interacts with zinc inside your cells, you will wonder why nobody told you to eat this every single day. Before we dive in, if you want to keep discovering how ancient biblical wisdom and modern nutritional science are actually telling us the exact same story, hit the subscribe button right now. We are building a community of people returning to real, whole food healing, and I genuinely want you to be a part of it. Let's get into it. Food number 1. Lamb. Lamb is woven through the entire narrative of Scripture in a way that no other food quite matches. From Abraham and Isaac on the mountain, to the Passover lamb whose blood marked the doorposts of the Israelites in Egypt, to John the Baptist's declaration of Jesus as the Lamb of God. This animal carried immense theological weight, but it also fed people consistently, abundantly, and incredibly well. From an immunological standpoint, lamb is the ultimate original zinc bomb. A standard 3-ounce serving of cooked, lean lamb provides roughly 40 to 50% of your daily recommended intake of zinc. But it is not just the quantity of the zinc that matters, it is the biological availability of it. To understand why your body is craving this, you have to look at an organ in your upper chest called the thymus gland. The thymus is the training camp for your immune system's T cells. T cells are the highly specialized white blood cells that specifically hunt down and destroy viruses and mutating cells. The hormone that your thymus gland uses to mature these T cells is called thymulin. And here is the catch. Thymulin is completely dependent on zinc. Without adequate zinc, thymulin becomes inactive. Your T cells never mature. Your immune system's special forces essentially never make it out of boot camp. Lamb provides highly bioavailable zinc paired perfectly with heme iron, a form of iron that your body absorbs instantly. This synergy of iron for oxygen delivery and zinc for T-cell maturation makes pasture-raised lamb one of the most structurally important immune foods you can possibly consume. Food number 2. Lentils. In Genesis 25, Esau comes home from the open field utterly exhausted, his body physically depleted. He sees Jacob's pot of red stew made from lentils and trades his entire birthright for a single bowl of it. We often read that as a story of a foolish, short-sighted man. But biologically speaking, Esau's body was demanding exactly what it needed for rapid restoration. Lentils are an extraordinary plant-based source of zinc, A single cup of cooked lentils delivers roughly 2.5 milligrams of zinc, alongside massive amounts of folate, iron, and fiber. When your body is invaded by a pathogen, your immune system has to manufacture millions of new white blood cells very quickly. This process requires rapid cell division and DNA replication. Zinc is a structural component of proteins called zinc fingers, which physically bind to your DNA and allow it to replicate properly. Without zinc, your cells literally cannot divide fast enough to mount an immune response. There is one critical ancient practice you must understand here: soaking. Lentils naturally contain phytic acid, a compound that binds to zinc and prevents your body from absorbing it. The ancient people did not have pressure cookers. They soaked their lentils in water for hours or days before cooking them. We now know that soaking neutralizes the phytic acid, essentially unlocking the zinc and making it bioavailable. Ancient tradition solved a biochemical problem thousands of years before the microscope was invented. Food number 3. Pumpkin seeds and ancient gourds. While the modern pumpkin is a new world crop, seeds from various gourds, melons, and squashes were heavily cultivated and consumed throughout the biblical Near East. Seeds represent life's potential, and in the ancient diet, they were a concentrated source of pure endurance. Pumpkin seeds, or pepitas, are incredibly dense in zinc. Just 1 ounce, a small handful, contains over 2 milligrams of zinc. But pumpkin seeds offer something entirely unique for the immune system. They pair that zinc with a massive dose of magnesium and a specific antioxidant called vitamin E. When your immune cells attack a bacteria, they use what is called an oxidative burst. They basically spray the pathogen with destructive, bleach-like chemicals to kill it. This is highly effective, but it creates collateral damage, causing oxidative stress that can harm your own healthy cells. The vitamin E in pumpkin seeds acts as a biological shield, protecting your healthy cells from the crossfire, while the zinc fuels the attack. Snacking on a handful of raw or lightly roasted seeds daily is a quiet, steady way to keep your body's defenses armed and shielded. Food number 4. Beef, the fatted calf. In the Gospel of Luke, when the prodigal son returns home, his father doesn't just welcome him. He commands his servants to bring the fatted calf and kill it, and let us eat and celebrate. Beef was the food of profound celebration, restoration, and supreme nourishment in the ancient world. Beef is one of the most potent, dense, and easily absorbed sources of zinc on planet Earth. A standard cut of beef chuck roast can provide up to 7 milligrams of zinc in a single serving. Why does this matter so deeply for your immune system? Because of a type of white blood cell called a neutrophil. Neutrophils are the first responders of your immune system. Whenever you get a cut, a scrape, or inhale a bacterial pathogen, neutrophils are the very first cells to rush to the site of the breach. They physically swallow the invading bacteria in a process called phagocytosis. Clinical immunology has proven that zinc deficiency causes an immediate severe dysfunction in neutrophils. If you are low on zinc, your first responders are sluggish, blind, and ineffective. High-quality grass-fed beef delivers the exact nutritional payload required to keep those neutrophils aggressive and alert. Food number 5. Barley. Barley is one of the oldest cultivated grains in human history. The entire book of Ruth pivots around the barley harvest. When Jesus fed the 5,000 on the hillside, it was with 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. Barley was the grain of the common people, dependable, robust, and life-sustaining. While we don't typically think of grains as immune boosters, barley is a vital source of zinc. But its true power lies in how it pairs that zinc with a specific, powerful soluble fiber called beta-glucan. Beta-glucan has been studied extensively by modern immunologists. When you consume it, it travels to your digestive tract, where it interacts directly with immune receptors called dectin, one on the surface of your macrophages, another type of immune cell. This interaction essentially wakes up your immune system, putting it on high alert without causing inflammation. When you combine the immune priming effect of barley's beta-glucans with the structural cellular support of its zinc content, you get a food that actively trains your immune system to be smarter and faster. A warm bowl of barley porridge, or barley added to a stew, is ancient medicine functioning exactly as designed. Food number 6. Eggs. In Luke 11, Jesus uses a beautiful rhetorical question. What father among you, if his son asks for a fish, will, instead of a fish, give him a serpent? Or if he asks for an egg, We'll give him a scorpion? The implication was universally understood by the crowd. An egg is a fundamentally good, nourishing, and perfect gift. For decades, the modern diet industry demonized eggs because of the cholesterol in the yolk. We now know that was a catastrophic nutritional mistake. The egg yolk is one of the most bioavailable, nutrient-dense substances you can consume, and it is a brilliant source of zinc. But the immune magic of the egg is how the zinc in the yolk is paired with fat-soluble vitamin A. Vitamin A is absolutely critical for maintaining the structural integrity of your mucosal barriers. Think about it. Viruses do not just magically appear in your bloodstream. They have to pass through the mucous membranes in your nose, your throat, or your gut. Your mucosal barriers are the fortress walls. Vitamin A keeps those walls thick and impenetrable, while zinc acts as the soldiers standing guard on the wall. 2 to 3 whole pasture-raised eggs a day provides a foundational defense that starts at the very borders of your body. Food number 7. Chickpeas, garbanzo beans. If you walked through a market in ancient biblical Israel, you would find chickpeas. They have been a staple crop in the Middle East for over 8,000 years. Ground into flour, roasted whole, or mashed into thick pastes, they were the fuel of the working class. A cup of cooked chickpeas provides nearly 2.5 milligrams of zinc, but chickpeas are also incredibly rich in complex carbohydrates and dietary fiber. Your immune system is incredibly energy-intensive. When you are fighting off an infection, your basal metabolic rate skyrockets. Your body is burning through calories just to manufacture the millions of immune cells needed for the battle. If you eat refined sugar, your blood sugar spikes and crashes, which actually suppresses your immune function for hours. Chickpeas provide sustained, slow-release energy that fuels the immune response over the course of hours, all while delivering the zinc required to build the cells. This is why a bowl of hummus, which combines chickpeas with our next food, is considered one of the healthiest ancient meals you can eat. Food number 8. Sesame seeds. Sesame oil and sesame seeds were widely used across the ancient Near East. In fact, tahini, the paste made from toasted, ground sesame seeds, is one of the oldest condiments known to humanity. A quarter cup of sesame seeds contains roughly 3 milligrams of zinc. That is a massive concentration for a seed. But sesame brings something entirely unique to the immune conversation. A group of highly specialized plant compounds called lignans, specifically sesamin and sesamolin. Modern research has discovered that these lignans are powerful modulators of the immune system. Sometimes, the danger isn't that your immune system is too weak. The danger is that it overreacts. When your body encounters a severe virus, it can launch a cytokine storm, a runaway inflammatory response where your immune system starts attacking your own lungs and tissues. The lignans in sesame seeds, combined with zinc, act as a biological brake pedal. They help calm the immune system down, ensuring the response is aggressive against the virus, but gentle on your own body. Food number 9. Goat meat. Goats are so deeply embedded in the biblical narrative that counting their appearances would take an entire day. In Genesis, Rebekah prepares a meal of 2 young goats for Isaac. The Mosaic Law outlines goats for offerings, provisions, and feasts. Goats were the primary livestock of ordinary people because they were hardy, adaptable, and could survive on rocky terrain that cattle could not navigate. From a nutritional standpoint, goat meat is an absolute marvel. It is significantly leaner than beef, meaning it provides a massive dose of complete protein and zinc with far less saturated fat. As we age, a process called immunosenescence occurs. This is the gradual, natural deterioration of the immune system. One of the main reasons older adults get sick more often is that their thymus gland shrinks and their body loses the ability to properly absorb and utilize zinc. Goat meat is incredibly rich in zinc, iron, and potassium, and it is highly digestible. It provides the perfect, high-density fuel to combat the aging of the immune system. It is the most widely consumed red meat on the planet today, outside of the Western world, and the longevity statistics in regions that consume it regularly speak for themselves. Food number 10. Almonds. In Genesis 43, when Jacob sends his sons back to Egypt to face the ruler who is holding their brother, he tells them to take the very best products of the land as a gift. Alongside honey and spices, he specifically sends almonds. In the tabernacle, the cups of the golden menorah were designed to look like almond blossoms. Almonds were a symbol of divine approval, watchfulness, and excellence. A 1-ounce handful of almonds delivers a solid dose of zinc. but their true immune value comes from their spectacular vitamin E and magnesium content. Your immune system operates via a massive communication network. White blood cells have to signal each other, coordinate attacks, and call for reinforcements using chemical messengers called cytokines. Magnesium is critical for the cellular receptors that receive these messages. If your magnesium is low, your immune system's communication network is essentially experiencing dropped calls. Almonds provide the magnesium to keep the communication lines open, the vitamin E to protect the cells, and the zinc to arm them. A handful of raw almonds is a complete systemic immune upgrade in the palm of your hand. Food number 11. Dark chocolate, raw cacao. Now, the cacao tree is native to Central and South America. It was not growing in biblical Israel. But it belongs on this list because it perfectly embodies the ancient healing principles we are discussing. The understanding that intense, bitter, deeply colored foods from the earth carry profound medicinal properties. Raw cacao, or dark chocolate that is 70% cacao or higher, is a staggering source of zinc. 100 grams of high-quality dark chocolate contains over 3.3 milligrams of zinc. But why chocolate? Because cacao is one of the richest sources of flavonoids in the entire plant kingdom. Flavonoids are plant compounds that actively stimulate the production of nitric oxide in your blood vessels. Nitric oxide tells your blood vessels to relax and open up wide. When your blood vessels dilate, your circulation improves dramatically. Your immune system is entirely dependent on circulation. White blood cells travel through the bloodstream. If your blood vessels are stiff and constricted, your immune cells cannot reach the site of an infection fast enough. The flavonols in dark chocolate open the highways, and the zinc provides the soldiers. Just 1 or 2 small squares a day is all it takes to get this biological benefit. Food number 12. Kefir and cultured dairy. We talked about Abraham serving curds and milk to his heavenly visitors in Genesis 18. In the ancient hot climate of the Middle East, fresh milk fermented very quickly. What they were drinking was essentially the ancient ancestor of modern kefir, or cultured yogurt. Milk natively contains zinc, but there is a biological catch. Milk also contains casein, a protein that can bind to zinc and make it harder for the human body to absorb. Here is where the miracle of ancient food preparation comes in. Fermentation. When milk ferments into kefir, the live beneficial lactic acid bacteria actively break down the casein proteins. They pre-digest the milk for you. In doing so, they completely release the zinc, making it incredibly bioavailable. Furthermore, 70% of your entire immune system resides in your gut. The live probiotic bacteria in kefir actively populate your gut lining, crowding out pathogenic bacteria and directly communicating with your immune tissue. When you drink true, unpasteurized, living kefir, you are delivering bioavailable zinc directly into the very headquarters of your immune system. Food number 13. Pine nuts and pistachios. Alongside the almonds that Jacob sent to Egypt in Genesis 43 were pistachio nuts, and pine nuts were harvested from the cedar and pine forests of the ancient Near East for millennia. These small, expensive, hard-to-harvest nuts were considered delicacies. Pine nuts and pistachios are incredibly dense in zinc. A single ounce of pine nuts contains nearly 2 milligrams of zinc. But their unique contribution to your immune defense is their effect on the lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system is the network of vessels and nodes that flushes cellular waste and transports your white blood cells. It doesn't have a pump like the heart. It relies on muscle movement and proper hydration and mineral balance to keep flowing. The specific fatty acid profile in pine nuts, including pinolenic acid, has been shown to support healthy lipid metabolism and reduce systemic inflammation, which takes the burden off your lymphatic system. By adding pine nuts to a salad or a grain bowl, you are keeping your body's internal drainage and transport system clean, clear, and fortified with zinc. Food number 14. Garlic. And here we are at number 14, the one that genuinely stops people in their tracks when they understand what it actually does. Garlic appears by name in the Bible in the book of Numbers, chapter 11. The Israelites are wandering in the dry, harsh wilderness, eating manna every day, and they begin to weep. They cry out, "We remember the fish we ate in Egypt that cost nothing, the cucumbers, the melons, the leeks, the onions, and the garlic." They missed garlic so much that they wept over its absence in the desert. The ancient Egyptians fed massive rations of garlic to the workers building the pyramids to keep them strong, to prevent dysentery, and to stave off infections. But here is the absolute breakthrough of modern science regarding garlic and zinc. Garlic does contain zinc, but its true power is not as a source of zinc. Its true power is as a zinc ionophore. Let me explain what that means, because it is the most important concept in this entire video. When you eat zinc from a piece of beef or a bowl of lentils, that zinc enters your bloodstream. But for zinc to actually stop a virus from replicating, it has to get inside your cells. Zinc cannot easily cross the cellular membrane on its own. It needs a doorway. It needs a biological key to open the cell wall and let the zinc inside. A zinc ionophore is exactly that key. Garlic is loaded with a powerful sulfur compound called allicin. When you crush or chop a clove of raw garlic, allicin is formed. Modern biochemical research has shown that the compounds in garlic act as natural ionophores. They literally open the doors of your cell membranes and push the zinc from your bloodstream directly into the center of the cell. Once the zinc is inside the cell, it physically blocks viruses from replicating their RNA. This means that if you eat a zinc-rich food like a steak, or a bowl of lentils, or a spinach salad, and you add crushed garlic to it, you are not just adding flavor. You are chemically unlocking the cells of your body and driving the zinc inside, where it can actually fight the virus. The ancient pyramid workers didn't know what a zinc ionophore was. The Israelites weeping in the desert didn't know about viral RNA replication. They just knew that when they ate garlic, they didn't get sick, their wounds healed, and their bodies stayed strong. Science has finally spent thousands of years catching up to what the ancient world already knew by observation. When you prepare garlic, you must crush it or chop it and let it sit on the cutting board for 10 minutes before you heat it. That 10-minute window allows the enzymes to create the allicin. If you throw it straight into a hot pan, you destroy the medicine. Crush it, wait, and then eat. 14 foods. 14 biological weapons designed to rebuild, restore, and arm your immune system against a world that is constantly trying to break it down. What strikes me about this list is the profound simplicity of it. You don't need a prescription. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on exotic wellness powders. The master switch for your immune system has been sitting in the fields, the flocks, and the soil since the very beginning of creation. The beef that provides the raw material. The lentils that fuel rapid cell division. The pumpkin seeds that shield your DNA. The barley that trains your macrophages. The egg yolks that seal your borders. The fermented kefir that populates your gut. And the crushed garlic that unlocks the doors of your cells and drives the medicine home. You do not have to change your entire life overnight. Just pick 2 or 3 things from this list today. Buy a high-quality cut of lamb or beef this weekend. Throw a handful of pumpkin seeds into your morning oatmeal. Soak your lentils before you boil them. Crush a clove of garlic into your olive oil. Your immune system is a living, breathing, desperately hard-working defense force. It never takes a day off. It never goes to sleep. It is fighting for your life every single second of every single day. The absolute least we can do is give it the raw materials it needs to win the battle. If this video opened your eyes, if it gave you a new understanding of how brilliantly your body was designed to heal itself, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button right now. We are building something really special here, uncovering the ancient truths that modern science is just now validating. And I want you on this journey with us. Leave a comment below and tell me, which of these 14 foods surprised you the most? Which one are you going to add to your dinner plate tonight? I read the comments, and your simple change might be exactly the inspiration someone else scrolling by needs to see today. And finally, if you know a friend, a parent, or a loved one who is constantly feeling run down, battling fatigue, or struggling to stay healthy, share this video with them. You are not just sending them a video, you might be handing them the exact biological blueprint they have been praying for. God bless you, take care of your temple, and I will see you in the next one.